Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Sorry, I'm late. I'm late a little bit. you know, things happen. And who is here? Dosty's here. Say, why does it work like that? Like what? Is the question here. And Dosty, don't forget about the protocol. Gender, age, where you tuning in from. And random says Meran. Sometimes random. Age, gender, where you tuning in from? I don't remember, even though I've talked to you guys before. Random says, Asley says, hi, Miran. Hello, Asley. Protocol, guys. Gender, age, where you tuning in from? Everybody, please. Random says, Miran, sometimes I feel like I purposely thought of an intrusive thought. Gives me no, I don't, because that's normal. That's how the brain look. You guys don't seem to get it. This thing that you're counting on so much that you call it perfect is not. You somehow have been bought into this idea that this is a perfect machine. No, it's just a machine. It malfunctions. It fucks up. So when you purposely think about intrusive thought is because you have an OCD for OCD. Like you have an OCD that you have to have OCD. Like you got to conduct things in an OCD way. So you actually think about something that you know you're not interested. Have you not done that? I'm sure you have. You actually know what you're not interested. It's not within your values systems at all, but you think of it because purposely you want to think of it to prove to yourself that I'm not scared and it's okay and I can see through it and I can see what it goes. And you think of it because you think it's possible to think. The brain is not making any kind of a out of this world wisdom providing anything for you. It's just an apparatus that goes weird, does weird things, like thinking about things that you actually don't want to. Look, when there is an intrusive thought that is purposely being thought, you're aware that this is an intrusive thought, that you don't enjoy it, you're not in agreement with it, and you notice that it's being produced while you are not interested in it. This awareness that something is being done despite your preference, that already tells you there's two entities. One is the brain and its behavior. One is you, the awareness, what the behavior of the brain and other things are. You see it, but the OCD takes over and thinks of it anyhow. And you are observing as if you're the judge and the schoolmaster and you're observing all students do their things. It doesn't mean that you're actually initiating it. It means you're observing what's being initiated and pretty much you're not in control of it. Something else is actually creating all those intrusive thoughts, and you kind of want to see, so what happens? I'm strong, I can prove it to myself, and you allow it to happen. And even if you didn't want to allow it, you have no way of not allowing it because you're not in control. It's two different entities. Like you try to stop somebody else from the other side of the street to say whatever he or she wants to say. You can't stop him. It's an independent system, separate system. You're not in control of it. What you are not in control of, what you're not in control of is not yours. Any thought that you can create and stop, end it, that's your thinking. But when you cannot, when you don't start it necessarily, or if you do, you can't stop it when you want, that's not you. It's a malfunction of the machine. It's the OCD and many other glitches that we all have in our brains. You need to understand this. Otherwise, you'll always be running after proving to the brain, which you think is a perfect is a perfection of the embodiment of the perfection in this world, and then you try to prove yourself to the brain, and when the brain suggests something stupid or not in line with your values, you think in order to be who you are, you have to convince the brain that you are not what the brain suggests, and somehow you got to be able to convince it, and it won't be convinced until it stops producing, rather than thinking this is crazy. The brain has gone malfunctioning, and that's why it doesn't stop these thoughts. Not that I have to prove it for it before it can stop it. I don't have to prove anything. It's a brain. It's like a muscle. It's like a tool. It's an apparatus. It's like you're trying to prove to your kidney or to your liver who you are. Before you can be sure about who you are, my liver should agree to it. It's gonna crack a bullshit. So come on now, my idiot friends, me included. I was like that too. So educate yourself. Don't think too much of this. This is the most stupid part of your place, your existence, despite of what you may be thinking. And Vince says, a girl looked at me, and it made me go, oh my God. Vince, you gotta let me know the protocol. Gender, age, where are you tuning in from? Before I can go there. Guys, please remember, I cannot remember your age or your gender by name. Every time you put a question in, I got to know what it is. Like credentials, 3 things, like here. F, 19, somewhere, some country. Vince, it says, I'm 19, female. Where from? Bethany. Name is Bethany. That is Vince, lol. Okay, good. Okay. All right. Good. So let's go to whoever has given me the protocol, and we go from there. So Bethany is 19, female, and from UK. Thank you for that. You see, it took 5 bloody messages till I get it. Just need 3 codes: F or M, where your gender, or however you signify your gender, age, and where you come from. Three little codes, like F19 UK. There it is. So thank you for that, Bethany. And Bethany says, a girl looked at me and it made me go, oh my God, why? Really? Is that first time you've noticed that girls look at each other for 1 million reasons? One of which would be, who's prettier? Is she a competition? How does her shoes look like? Look at her hair. If I can make fun of her, then I feel better about myself. Comparing yourself to the others, it's what everybody does. Even men do. So, and then she may have looked at you for the reasons I just mentioned, or looked at you because you're pretty, or looked at you because she envied you, looked at you, saw something she likes that she doesn't have, looked at you because you look smart, looked at you because, I don't know, a certain thing you're wearing that, she was checking it out. There's so many reasons. The fact is not if somebody looked at you, oh my God. Why would you care if somebody looks at you or not? It's on them, not on you. If some guy looks at me that doesn't make me gay. Maybe he's looking at for many reasons, different reasons. I don't know. Maybe he's homosexual and he likes kind of a look like mine. But that has nothing to do with me. Why would I fret about it? I can look at anything I want, and people look at anything they want. I don't have to interpret why and what their intention is, as long as their intention stays with them and they're not approaching me for their intention. Then there would be different response. But so people look at each other, could be many reasons. Why would it have to be sexual? So we look at things. We have eyes, we see things. Maybe we admire somebody. Maybe he or she has very chic and stylish clothing on, or, you know, has certain kind of a, pleasant energy or whatever. Who cares? The interpretation is a problem in these sort of experiences, thinking, thoughts. What are you interpreting? Why should you interpret? Just observe life. It's like you see a bird flying that way, or I don't know, a moth going this way and that way, and you try to find, why is it going on 30-degree banking? Why doesn't it go this way? Why not just slowly ascend? Why is it shooting down like this? Why do you have to know everything? Just observe. There's a bird going that way. That's it. Now, why? Which angle? Why is it flying like that? Why would irrelevant? The same thing about anything else. Somebody looks at you, so what? If it makes you uncomfortable, go and don't pay attention and go. If they approach you, which is not in line with your lifestyle and values, then you react to it in a way that is assertive, and they could, mind their business and find out that they're barking on the wrong tree. Simple. You're in control once you see there is a reason to respond. Otherwise, why do you have to respond to everything? Move on about your life. And she says, and I looked at her and it made me think I'm gay. Am I gay? You see, the reason for all these thoughts is that you're conditioned to think that everything should have an interpretation. You see, if we learn to observe life, we will be in the moment all the time. And in the moment, there are no danger, there are no stories. The moment constantly renews itself to a new moment. And the moment that just passed, gone, and it was so small, nothing is in it to concern you. So you're always in the present. You're always with the effort that you're making at the point that you're making, whatever it is that you're making. You're with the now. In the now, there are no perceptions, because perception happens when you travel from the now into your memory, which is a different time, and you perceive something that you're observing with the knowledge and experience that this has happened before, or somehow you saw it in a movie, or something exists and you've become aware of it in the world. And that knowledge, that perception overrides what you're observing, and then messes up the actual experience of what it is in front of you, which you stop seeing it because you're now perceiving it with something that was found in the consciousness about somehow these informations through internet and other mediums have found themselves into your consciousness. So now you've got so many things plus past knowledge and experience of things. And no longer, if you're looking at the orange tree, you're seeing that orange tree. You see that orange tree in front of you, good. But in a second, you say, oh, that orange tree is so big, like the oranges on the orange tree of my uncle at my uncle's home. And no longer you're with this orange tree anymore. You're now at your uncle's home in the memory with that orange, the color, and that day. Suddenly, you no longer are aware of the present moment experience you have with this orange tree, because you've perceived it, you interpreted it to something else that is not here. Therefore, you're not here. You're in the memory. and you lose the whole chance of first-hand life. It is always second-hand. You're looking at this, but you're somewhere else. And later on, maybe another day, you look at the orange tree again, and you will remember today orange tree that you saw. So you're always one step behind. That's why it's important to always be in the moment with the effort. Observe. Don't interpret. Don't perceive. Just see it for what it is and go on. When there's no interpretation, there's no conclusion. When there's no conclusion, there's no label. When there's no label, there's no question. Am I gay? Am I not gay? Why did that girl look at me? Why did that guy look at me? Oh, I looked back and I wanted to see how pretty or how handsome they are. Oh, that makes me a sexual interest. No, none of these are all interpretations and perceptions. Put them all aside. She looked at me, great. You're heterosexual. She looked at you and you're a man, and a girl looked at you, great, you enjoy it. You're heterosexual, a guy looked at you, you say, why is he looking at me? You don't look. Or you look, you compare, see, is he better looking than me? Is he having better chances with girls than I do? These are things that is normal. You know, he's got bigger muscle, so you appreciate the muscle and say, oh, because you have muscle and you know why you're training to be, you know, pleasant to the girls, and you have to take care of yourself, and you see somebody else who's got bigger muscle, you have certain kind of respect for what he has accomplished, and then you see that having a better chance with the girls, and suddenly you say, oh, am I having a sexual? No, you're thinking about the whole concept of muscle, and muscle leads to girls, and girls, that means sex, and then suddenly the concept of sex, you think, oh, looking at the guy is about thinking about sexually about the guy. No, it leads to other things, associates with eventually sex, because he's a man, you're a man, you train yourself and he's trained yourself. So the connotation gets to the sex part, and that's how sex enters into this, in this mental exchange. Yeah, but it has nothing to do with your interest, sexual interest or orientation. These are associations that the brain does. And the reason that all these associations are so easy and takes place in a matter of seconds, because there is only one thought. All thoughts in the consciousness are one. They're all like a pool of thoughts. They're all in there. You go in to pick up one thought, 1,000 other thoughts come with it, because they're all stuck together. The association of thoughts, it's so fast and so vast that you cannot stop. You cannot just pick one thought and no other thought around it. No, every word and every thought and every image has association and attachment to all kinds of other things that leads to it, and you become aware of it. And because you became aware of it, you think, oh, that was my purpose. I am actually focusing on that, wanted that to be. No, a thought is one or 1,000 is the same. All thoughts are one. That's why there's so many kinds of thoughts comes to the brain and goes. And you didn't choose them. You chose something else. You chose an apple. Suddenly you thought of a round ass, because the association is so amazingly fast. Round. What else is round? So many other things. Hindquarter of a horse, somebody's butt, a ball, a soccer ball. All these come. That's the amazing ability of the brain. That's why we can process things fast. You don't look for them. What does it look like? It comes to you. You see a square shape, all other square stuff may come to you. You see a beautiful woman, the concept of sex, the concept of sexuality, orientations, everything comes. And then you say, oh my goodness, I thought of that. No, you didn't. It was just an array of thought that comes in, because the brain doesn't know what you want. It just puts out a smorgasbord. Here it is, sir. You were thinking about some thought. These are all thoughts available right now at this moment. Choose. So you choose or you don't choose. That's where your responsibility comes into the picture. But they all show up. But what shows up, it's not that you chose it. It's there. What you turn it into action, that's your responsibility. Not what shows up and becomes available and comes to your imagination. That's not your responsibility. That's what the brain does. Brings everything in. So here it is. It's like a servant. You know, you say, brings everything, all the food, everything, all the entertainment, all the food, all the, you know, I don't know, tailors and sports coaches, and everything comes in for the king to choose. So if you choose one and turn it into action, that's your responsibility. But availability of things that comes to mind, it's got nothing to do with you. That's how it's designed to behave, to function. So I don't know. I hope it makes sense to you guys. No, Bethany, that's quite of a nonsense what you just said there. Again, that's a brain's, instilling those thoughts in you. These are all thoughts coming because you think if something is possible, I should accept it as fact. OCD brain is very weird. It goes to the extreme end of possibilities, which has nothing to do with him or her, but the brain's OCD brain replaces the reality with the extreme possibilities, which in his or her case would not have a chance. But because it's possible to be in this world, that train of thoughts, that situation for somebody somewhere, because it's possible, the OCD brain goes and takes that possibility, which is so far-fetched, but brings it here, kind of eliminates the time and space, brings the some possibility at some tangent at some time, and brings it here, the extreme, brings it here, and wants to deal with it in order to make sure that this will never happen. So he's trying to control everything by thinking the worst, bringing the worst to his understanding and his values, and then leaves no space between where he or she is and some possibility of something somewhere in the world. Brings it all to himself. It's like a masochism that I have to take all the possibilities that I don't agree with and deal with it in order to make sure that none of them could come to my life or harm me or bother me. That's no reason for that. You're trying to control and bring assurance of a pure and perfect, stable, calm life. And you're constantly trying to produce that. What I'm trying to tell you is leave that alone. Your life is great. Your responsibility is only limited to what you allow to become an action. The thoughts that shows up in your head is none of your business. It's none of your doing. Even though if you're aware of it being produced and you allow it to be produced and you actually go further with it in your brain, these are what the brain does and what the OCD brain does. It is not that you actually agree to everything that comes to your brain. But that's what OCD behavior is. You're always trying to find assurance. And how do you sometimes find assurance? By going to the nth degree of any possibility of any tangent in order to discover it all and become aware of everything so that I know it and know that nothing can bother me. I can handle it. And I'm aware of these possible situations. So you try to think of any possible situation so you can become aware of it so you feel safe. Don't. If something comes up, it's like me sitting here and thinking, okay, if a car is about to hit me and if it's coming from that angle, I will jump this angle. And if there is a gunshot, then I will make sure that I hear it, and then I will dive on the ground. And if there's two people attacking me, I will use this technique and then that technique. You're thinking about all possibilities that could ever happen in the world should you step out of your apartment, go out to do some grocery shopping. That's going to be exhausting. Why? Because you're doing that in order to be creating a safe environment for yourself. No, you go out, and if a car happens, then you do what you got to do. You jump up here and there. If there's a gunshot, then you do what you best you can do. You're prepared already. You don't have to practice it. If people want to attack you, then you will call the police or you run away or you do whatever it is that you have to do. You don't sit down and calculate all these things or be prepared at all time for all things. That's nonsense. That makes you crazy. Same thing with thoughts. You're sitting down and trying to come up with all kinds of possibilities to be aware and to have a respond and have conclusions made out of different thoughts so you can be sure that you are sure. There's nothing to be sure about. Who are you convincing that you are this gender or that gender? Who? Why would you need to convince any part of you or anybody else? You live your life and you understand the malfunctions of the brain. And if something intrusive shows up, then you understand what intrusive thoughts are. Educate yourself. You don't have to constantly think about why did it come? Why not? That's what the brain is. It brings an array of thoughts, and then it can be helpful or not helpful. That's for you to be the judge of it. Not that whatever it shows has a purpose. It has to be interpreted. It has to have a label. I must know why. Oh, my asshole is scratching. Oh, does that mean I have certain sexual interest to have something scratch it? You're interpreting and perceiving and coming to conclusion about everything. But if this here itches, you don't think of anything. It just itches. It just itch. Okay, itch. But when it comes to something that is in groinal parts or somewhere, you fuss about it. No, it's all the same. It's all the same. Same thing with thoughts. This thought, I have to find out where does it come from, where does it go, what does it mean, why is it here? But the other thought, okay, sister, they're all the same. They all mean nothing. Don't waste your time interpreting or perceiving them and see what it means and association of it. Thoughts come up. It could be as simple as tea, and suddenly it can take it to some kind of a sexual content somewhere, because that's what brain does. But the ability to associate things to things that are not in line with your interest or your values or just the time of the day, it doesn't mean that it has any particular meaning to it. It just means brain associates everything to everything. Your job is to maneuver like a good driver from the potholes and from the this and that undesirable things and go to the streets that you like. Just navigate. You don't have to worry about what it means. I have to stop the car and examine what was that, the species of that flower that was there, or what was the color of that shit? What did it smell that I just passed by and noticed it? You don't. You just go about your business. Same thing. Thoughts show up. You don't have to stop and figure them out. What is this thought? Why is it here? Why did it show up? What does it mean? What does it describe me? Does it interpret me? Just leave it. You're going to waste your life. We all malfunction. Everything in this world malfunctions. So does the brain. It's the electrical system. And it malfunctions. By the way, can you guys hear me good? Let me know if you can, because sometimes this thing stops working. So let me know if you guys can't hear me. All right. So we go to Noah says, hi, Miran, male 21, Florida, USA. Thank you for that. Column says 26, UK. Thank you for that. Doosty, the first message just says, why does it work like that? Doesn't tell me your age or anything. And Column says, "Hi, Mehran. My libido towards woman has been low lately, and I worry. I've always been heterosexual and attracted to women, and I worry that I'll end up losing this attraction." No, you can't lose attraction. What happens is right now you're dealing with something that is to you is alarming and dangerous. These thought processes have made you feel as if you're being attacked because the thoughts are not in line with your values. So you're in the defensive mode. It's no different than I use the same analogy that one of the YouTubers I noticed use, and it's very apropos, very well done. His name is Jesse. You can check his channel. And he said, some people wonder why they don't get an erection or they don't have the libido. And it's like thinking that you're swimming in a pond and there's an alligator coming right at you behind you, and the jaws open, is about to take a bite into your ass and take half of your body out, and you're frantically trying to save your life and escape and swim away. And it's like at that moment say, why don't I get an erection? Well, that's not the time. You're busy and distracted and feeling frightened and fearful for your life. You're in the battle. And this is the same. You are frantically trying to deal with something that to you is dangerous. So, and then you expect to have the same kind of relaxed. And how many of you, when you're not relaxed, you're trying to have sex and you can't have it? So how come you don't question it then? It's the same thing. When you're nervous or reacts or not relaxed or tense, well, things don't work. Now, this one is very important to you. It's the same as the alligator's jaws opening is about to, take half of you away. So you're distracted. Your focus is not there. Your fight or flight system is up, and sexual appetite is not going to be functioning well at that moment until you actually are able to educate yourself about this whole thing and understand that these are all normal glitches of the brain. Then you will learn about what this is, OCD, HOCD, and all these thought processes and so on. And then once you realize this is some disorder, a glitch in the brain, then you relax and everything starts coming back. Nothing has gone anywhere. You're just distracted. It's like you have a diamond ring or diamond stone somewhere, but all you see is dust and the mountain and rocks. It's just covered. You take those out, you see the diamond is still always been there. It wasn't lost. Same thing. Your libido hasn't gone anywhere. You're just distracted, dealing with so much shit and tension that naturally you're not focused on the things that you like and love. It's like a favorite food of yours that you like, but when you're upset or sad or in a bad mood or fighting or something, you're not thinking is the same taste or interested about the food, the put it in front of you. You're not having the same kind of a reaction towards it. First calm the mind, then everything becomes. And don't try to say, oh, where's it now? Where's it now? How come it's not back now? I did this, I did meditate, how come it's not? I understood this, how come it's not back? These all bring in more and more. Don't try to prove anything. Don't try too hard to prove to yourself I'm still the same. You are. Nothing has gone away. Your attention is not here. Just be patient. Salooms71 says, hi, I hope you're doing well. Thank you. I need your credentials first. Gender, age, where you tuning in from? Says, I broke up since 2 years. I really think of her, and whenever I do, it's without feelings. But I still do cry occasionally from trauma, what I went through. Is it normal? Yeah, it's normal, but there's no trauma. You have been conditioned to think that this considered trauma. Something bad has happened to me. Look at some people in the world. They wake up in the morning, they're on the breakfast table, and bombs are falling on their heads, and they lose half of their family. They die. That's a trauma. That's trauma. Breaking up with a girlfriend is not a trauma. It's just what happens to every one of us, every human being. They break up and then they find somebody else. But what happens is when you, first of all, let me see your age. I got to know your age. See, if you guys don't give me the information, I'm not sure how old you are, how young you are. I can't be freely speaking. So you need to give me that information first. So what happens with you when you break up with your girlfriend, no longer you're looking at her as one entity. There are now two entities. One is her sexuality, which represents pleasure, fulfilling your desire of intimacy through pleasure. That's one way that you're actually considering her as an entity, the sexuality, pleasure. The other one is her persona. You're no longer focusing on her persona when you are fully focused that pleasure has left you. No longer you're thinking this girlfriend left you. You're thinking the concept of pleasure left you. Why? Because she was able, through her, you could get access to the feeling of pleasure through intimacy. And she was able to provide that intimacy, the pleasure. So now that she has left, you're not thinking that she left. You're thinking the concept of pleasure has left you. And that's, to you, is trauma, as if you have lost everything that was so valuable in life. And that's the concept of pleasure, not her. Because there's so many other amazing women out there that can give you that kindness and compassion and, companionship and sexuality and intimacy far better than she does. But that's the only one that you know of, that you know it was possible. So you're focusing on the possible that you have had the experience with, and you think nothing else that you don't know of cannot be possible. So you're focusing on the possible that is the only thing, because I know about it. It was possible. I had sex with her. And then everything else that is actually out there waiting for you, because you haven't had the experience with, you think, no, those are not ever possible for you. But the one that had happened, that's the only one that is a sure thing. So that's how you cannot let go, because you think that's a sure thing because you had experience with it. You know, you were intimate with her. So you know it's a sure thing that did happen. So you think that's the only sure thing because I had experience with it. Everything else you haven't had experience with, you say, I cannot see it as happening because you never had the experience of happening with them. So therefore, you think everything else out there is impossible. Only this was possible. So that's my only chance. So you get stuck with it. You don't want to leave it. And you think it's a trauma because the whole concept of pleasure is gone by her going. No. You're no longer thinking about her personality. What brought you guys to this point that you broke up? All the difficulties and challenges and differences and contradictions and conflicts and divisions. You don't think about the personalities and how she changed, how she treats you, how you treat her, the whole mental separations. You don't see any of that. You don't see any of that in her. All you see here is her sexuality. That's all you're focused on. And losing that is very important to us. You can't imagine not having sex with the one that you used to have sex. So the whole concept of the intimacy is the trauma. Her character and personality, you don't even see it anymore. All the problems that you guys had together, all the incompatibilities that you had together. You're not even focused on that, which you should be, because that's the person that you're having a relationship with. You're not having a relationship with pretty and the intimacy, but because that's the only thing that really is so important right now for you, the concept of intimacy and pleasure and so on. That's the only thing you think she was all about. And you think losing her is losing pleasure, losing intimacy, losing the sex and all that. then that sounds like a trauma. But you separate it, understand that all these pleasure and sex and so on is better if it is available out there. Far better than this one. There's so many amazing, beautiful women out there. And focus on the character changes and things that changed with her and the problems that you guys had between the two of you and why it didn't work. All that still exists. Even if you guys get back together, all those problems still exist and you will separate again. So if you focus on her personality, her actuality today, not how she used to be, how you guys used to be at the beginning and all that, that's perceiving something that is not now. Look at her now, her actuality, not what is in your memory about how things used to be, which was sweet and all that. That was then. But everybody, the consciousness is changing through all that time that you guys were together. And it's changed into to a level that it is now, that you guys can't tolerate each other for one reason or another. You've broken up. She broke up, you broke up, both broke up, whatever happened. So you got to focus on her actuality now, not on the sexuality and the concept of, intimacy and all that and pleasure. So you won't look at it as a trauma. You will look at it as something, just a personal differences and incompatibility. And then you'll focus on bringing a more compatible person at this stage of your life, which you have changed from where you guys started to now. Both of you have changed. Understand that. Go on, find somebody who's more compatible to you now. There's no trauma here. None whatsoever. But you're conditioned to think that this must be a devastation of life. No, it's just sex. That's it. Go find somebody who's offer you more than sex. Consciousness, compatibility, and the rest of it. All right? All right. And we have Skokyoki. What? Skokyoki. Sounds Japanese to me. And it says, hello, Mehran. I have got a question. I've been following you for a while. Really? I never noticed you. Where? Which streets were you following? I hope you subscribed. God damn it, guys. Do something. This channel is dying. There's nobody... we are like 9 years into it. There's 23,000 subscribers. That's stupid. I know channels that don't even make sense, but 2 years in this, only 2-year-old, and they've got like 400,000 subscribers. What's going on? And you guys all say, "Oh, this channel saved my life." Oh, so content is amazing. I agree with you, and I don't see the content somewhere else either. But there are other channels that try to deal with certain things that we deal here, and they really are not that helpful, as I've heard from many of you, and I've noticed it myself when I look at their content. But they've got like 400,000 subscribers. So do something. Promote this channel. If you like it, if you enjoyed it, you benefited from it, God damn it, do something about it. Otherwise, we'll wither and die, disappear. Anyhow, Skukyuki says, hello, Mehran. I have a question. I've been following you for a while. I never saw a video on your page about when or how getting back together could work, because I don't think it's a good idea for two people who have gone through certain time period, interacted in real world, negotiated life on daily basis, went through challenges and conflicts and divisions, and had experiences through time, and eventually they grew separately. Their consciousness, as is always evolving, all our consciousnesses at one point was not compatible anymore any longer, and they have come to certain changes and certain differences that they were not able to resolve it. And I'm sure they tried, but they weren't able to resolve it. And so therefore they broke up. So why are they getting back together? On what basis? All the problems that they had and they couldn't solve it, even when they tried to solve it before they broke up, is still there. What has happened is they forgot about it, how intense it was, because human nature is about forgetting the bad stuff. When you forget the bad stuff, then you're not aware of it that is actually there. So you get back together, but the bad stuff, the differences, incompatibilities is still there. So they surface again and you guys go through the same shit. Why would you want to get back to someone that you already know that you tried and it didn't work? Just because you took a break and you forgot, and now the sexuality and the memories are pulling you to rekindle the memories that your brain, your mind finds security in the memories. So one of the reasons that you're getting back with your ex is not because the ex has changed or is now in agreement with you and you guys are compatible, is because mind doesn't find security as the physical portion of your body finds security. Physical portion of your body finds security in a safe environment, safe home, door is locked, safe part of town, and you know all your limbs and everything is here, so you feel safe. But the mind doesn't find its safety through physical safety, physical environment, physicality. It finds its security in the order of things, in the order of life. When you break up, the order that you had created together breaks up. Order is created by doing certain mechanical processes every day. You wake up, you text each other, you go do your things, and you go out to your school or to your work, and you see each other, you go to the gym together, or you go to dinner, or you go to, I don't know, get together, or you go to a cinema, whatever you do. You have things during the day you do. Those are mechanical processes. And since you guys got together, no longer single, many of these things that you do is together, combination. So the order that is creating from these mechanical processes and activities during the day, there's certain routine created. That routine is the order of their life. And this order of life has been created by contribution of both of you in this order, doing the certain mechanical processes. This order has created security for your mind. When you break up, this order that it was made by both of you is broken. So you cannot bring the same order by yourself. Therefore, your mind doesn't have the order. You don't have the order. When you don't have the order, the mind finds security in the order, and the order is broken. Mind doesn't feel secure. Where it wanted to go? Wants to go to the memory. Where is the memory? Well, how things used to be. There's an order in the memory recorded. Now you want to bring that thing that you go into memory to find security for your mind. You want to bring it to the actuality. So what do you have to do? You got to go get her back. That's why you want to get her back. You don't want to get her back because you're stupid and you think she's changed now that you've been a month away. You don't even think of it. You think your purpose is to get her back so you will feel there's an order again as it was before, so your mind can find security. The mind finds security in the order. The order is broken up by a breakup. That's why you want to get back together, to bring back the order so the mind finds security in it. Otherwise, everything is still the same. So your purpose is not because she's the best in the world, amazing. That's what you think. But really, the hidden reason is that you want to bring her back so you can have that order, how things used to be, so your mind finds security in an order of your life. Your order is broken. So the key is to go and create new mechanical processes that you can do on your own by yourself, new hobbies, new things that you like to do, new friends, new things, projects to do and accomplish, new things to learn. Those mechanical process eventually creates a new order in your life. In that order, your mind finds security. Again, you won't be thinking about her so much, and you won't be going to the memory to get the order back, because in the memory there's a recording of how things used to be, and the mind finds order in how things used to be, and it's recorded. So that's why you keep going into the memory. You keep going into the memory because in the memory, there's an order of how things used to be, and the mind finds security in that order. And the order doesn't exist in the real life, in the actuality of the now. So you keep going into the memory. That's why you keep going to the memory. And whenever you go into the memory, she's there in the memory, and then you miss her. Because all the prerequisites of desire to be born, that at one time it was done in real life, in real time, is also recorded in the memory. So when you're in the memory for the mind to find security, she is there, and all the prerequisites for the desire for her to be born is also recorded, and they come up. And therefore they feel like they just been replenished again. All those prerequisites have been, the requirements have been accomplished, and then you desire her again. So the whole idea that you go into the memory to find order, you find her, you find desire, all the prerequisites of desire has been taken, and then you desire her. Then you want to get her back. It's all about your mind wanting to find security. Otherwise, you're not crazy to know that, well, this didn't work. Just last month we had a fight, and we've been fighting for so long, so many discrepancies. That's why you want her back. That's why I say you never want to get back to your ex, unless you have children and all that. Okay, maybe you try. But I'm sure you tried before you broke up and it didn't work out, so then let go. So you don't want to get back with your ex. You want to understand why you're actually feeling the way you do and why you want to get her back. It's not because she's amazing. It's because of the sex and intimacy, and because of the mind wants to have the order, and you go into the memory, and the memory, she is there, and the prerequisites of the desire to be born is also recorded there. You become in touch with that. It feels like it's just done. It's completed now, and you desire her. So you go after her. That's, constant vicious cycle. So I hope that helps you out. And Arjan Patel says, Dr. Mehran, hi, sir, wishing you a good day. Thank you very much. But remember, I'm not a doctor. I don't have any medical credentials. I don't want to have any misunderstanding here. Please don't call me a doctor. I have no medical credentials, and I don't claim to have one. All the books that I've written is all the research and all the things that I have done on my, my life and experiences and so on. So please don't do that. And so this Kokyoki says, hey, I'm subscribed. Well, good. So as Kokyoki, I think you got your answer. Then we have the guy next door. Says, it's the fading effect. Guy next door, what happened to the protocol? Remember, I don't remember everybody. I need gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. All of you guys, please. Okay. Ashley says 34. Guys, I'm sorry if I don't go by rhythm. I just find whatever I find and I answer it. Ashley says 34, London, male. Thank you for that. And he says, I was involved with a lady last year, but due to the long distance, nothing materialized. Anyway, yesterday, I texted her to find out if she is seeing anyone. She read my text but never responded. Why didn't she respond? Because it's long distance. What is it? What's going to come out of it? If she wanted to respond, she would have responded before. She would not stop responding. Remember, you said that nothing came out of it. So it didn't, it wasn't going on. So why do you text her again? You are texting a girl long distance, when you guys don't have a chance to actually travel to each other's place, and you expect that to be a romantic interlude for a long time, eventually the girl wants a guy near her, and eventually a guy wants the girl near him, so they can have physical interaction, go to tea, coffee, a date, cinema, sport activities, and the rest of it. And so when this doesn't happen, or you realize that it's just talking, it's like enjoying each other's company and keeping each other virtually thinking you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, it's not realistic. Unless you have a plan, you're at a certain age and certain stage of your life that you actually are compatible mentally, you appreciate each other, and you're hoping and working towards something. And if you're both patient and reasonable, because today's world is real wacko and things are not really normal, so you don't know when you guys end up meeting each other or not. But at least that would be some kind of a mutual understanding. So you shouldn't text her; it's gone. But the thing is, because you don't have anybody else to hang around with, any other girl close by, so you're, you know, falling back on that opportunity. Because after all, it's a girl. I'm talking to a girl. If it makes you feel good, yeah, I understand that. But there's nothing going to come out of it. So she's being practical, and you're being, yeah. You're talking to her because of lust. What else is there right now? I mean, honestly, what? You guys talk about what? Chess, mathematics, philosophy of the world. If you have things to talk about and you enjoy it, fair enough. Then you may eventually, you know, create more and more interest, bonding on consciousness level, and eventually meet. But if that depth is not there, compatibility is not there, the rest is, you know, sexual lust, and you don't have anybody else available close by, so you keep texting her. Leave it alone. You're not going to get anything from it, and she's not going to get anything. So naturally, let it go. And Haley says, "Hi, Mehran, my internet dad." Okay. Hello, daughter. And she says, "Just wanted to pop up here. I'm doing really well. Delighted to hear that. Obviously getting the odd ones, but so what? Yeah, so what? You see, you don't conclude that this means this, that means that. Just observe and go. You know, no different than you walking and you have to scratch here or scratch here. You don't interpret. Oh, what is it? Do I have a do I have some kind of a disease? It's a scratch or go. Same thing. A thought shows up here and there. Oh, so what? Don't try to bring certain kind of a perfection that is in line with your values, and always try to have a whip on your hand. Shah! Why did you show up? My life must be perfect in this way of thinking and no other way. That's not normal, because the brain is capable of thinking about so many array of things that many of them are non-relevant to you, irrelevant to you, but it comes anyhow. You're not supposed to be trying to control things that are not within your control. You can control your actions and what you allow to become action. That's all your responsibility. But you're not supposed to be controlling what thought shows up or what people do out there or what, weather is like. These are not in your control. So you just see them and negotiate your way through to get to whatever it is that you've set out to accomplish. That's all. Make life easy. And don't look for meanings. They're all meaningless. Thought the brain itself is meaningless. Certain algorithm and certain criteria have been programmed for you got to think this in this way and that and that way. Forget that shit. Whatever it is, you just look. Okay, that's orange tree, that's apple tree, that guy's shitting in the corner of the street, that dog is running there, okay, just observe and go. You live by your vetoes and choices. not by ideas and suggestions and images that shows up in your head. They mean nothing. You're the only one, and the only one who has the power to allow anything to become a reality, actuality, and become an action. That's how you live, not by what shows up in the head. I don't care what shows up. It's not my responsibility. It's not my control. This who shows up. Okay, so what? Hmm? It's like you have a TV in your home, and anything that shows up on you, oh, it's my responsibility. No, you have a TV. It's a receiver. It receives everything. But it's got nothing to do with you being the manufacturer or the designer of that program. So thoughts shows up. It's a receiver. It takes all kind of things that is available in the world, and it's got the ability to turn them into image, turn them into thoughts, and so on, because somehow they found their way and seeped into your consciousness. Your consciousness is aware of the existence and possibility of all those things that you're not necessarily in line with it, but they are available, exist in the world, and the brain has become available of it, has become aware of it, and makes thoughts on that basis. That's all. It's not an intellect. It's just a machine. What comes in, it uses and makes thoughts. Your job is to choose, say, okay, this is nonsense, I don't care, and go on. Your vetoes and your choices. That's the only power that exists in us that is beyond anything that brain can do. There are aspects of you and your mind that brain cannot even reach. And you know what I'm talking about. The video that I made, which I'm going to put the link in here for you guys to check it out again. And that video is called Are You or the Brain is the You? Are you or the brain is the you? I'm going to put the link up here for you, down here for you guys. And if you haven't seen this, I want you to see it. This is a video that is very important. I believe it will help you to understand your brain a little bit better. It's based on the experiments of Dr. Speary, Dr. Penfield, Dr. Owen, Dr. Libet, and these are world-class Nobel Prize echelon of studies. And you will learn a thing or two, and you will see that brain cannot reach you, and you're beyond the brain. That's why you and only you have the power of vetoes and choices. Watch that video. You'll be amazed, surprised, informed. Haley says, I enjoy it when men look at me. Great, great. And Haley says, I'm going now. I need a hot chocolate and to watch a film. Bye, Miriam. Bye, dear. Have a wonderful day. Delighted that you stopped by. Enjoy your life. Be present and observe life. Don't interpret. Don't label it. Don't look for conclusions. Have a wonderful journey. And Mr. High Class is male 33 from Amsterdam. Hello there. Says, I commented last week on your live about my ex in the rehab who cheated on me. I broke no contact last night. It went all wrong. She got mad, blocked me. I can't get over her. Yes, you can. You just don't want to. What do you mean I can't get over her? What's this whole business of I can't get over her? What do you mean you can't get over her? Of course you can. But you think you shouldn't. That's the problem. You think you shouldn't. So you don't. Oh, I have to love her. Why? The girl is having a wrong style of life. She's into drugs and this and that. She's in a rehab. And she's the one who blocks you. Let me introduce you to my little friend. Where is it? Let me write your name on the ugly stick in bold. So when the flights are free, the ugly stick will visit you to put some sense into your head. God damn it, what's wrong with you? So some girl, she has the right to make her choices, and she has made bad choices. You don't have to stick with her. She's on drugs. She's getting rehabilitated. Okay, you were there for her and you offered and all that. And she blocked you. Okay, move on. Unless you think, oh, I have to prove to the imaginary thing that is watching me and my behavior, I have to prove to it that I'm a good person by sticking with her, even though she doesn't give a shit about me and doesn't want me around. But I must. Why? Because I want what is imaginary looking at me to judge me as I am a wonderful person. What are you doing with yourself? You've created a thought that is observing you and what you're thinking, what you're doing, and that's all your own thoughts. And you want to feel good about yourself by having something that you created watching you and say, "Oh yeah, you're a good person because you're sticking by her." She had her chances. She's an adult woman, and she's chosen to live her life like that. And you've done whatever you could for her, and she's blocked you. Move on. Unless you don't have any other thing in this life to accomplish, and you think your whole worth and value is about to suck up to someone's wrong choices and try to convince them, let me be here for you. And they say, I don't fucking need you. But you're so low in your life that you think, no, I must help them. No, why? Why? If somebody doesn't want to be with you or doesn't want your help, why do you want to help them? That's a confidence level. Move on. Find a different world. There are many other intelligent girls out there. Why don't you find yourself deserving of attaching yourself with someone with higher understanding, higher consciousness, better consciousness, and more compatible? What's wrong with you? No soup for you. Move on. Aman Gatpal says, hello, Meran. 20 male India. Hello, Aman. Says, can OCD reduce intelligence? No, in fact, most people with OCD are above intelligent level. That's why they have the OCD. Huh? Don't forget that. That's actually a uh, a credible source for that. Scientists and uh, psychologists. Um, yeah, yeah. Nova says, yay, Meran, I noticed these thoughts, associations that are processed by the brain with so much speed. And the speed that these thoughts are processed can make you believe that the thought is actually what you want. Yes, that's right. And don't be fooled by it because the association is not your responsibility and it's not your doing and it's not in your control. It's just what this system does. It's an automatic uh, association seeker because in normal cases, this ability to associate things to things will help to solve problems, modify things, invent new products, technologies, and so on. That's the ability of it. But when it goes rogue, it tries to do all that shit for everything and overly. And if you are bamboozled by it and you think, oh, that has merits, then you're in trouble. But if you understand that this is just how the machine works and you don't have to pay any attention to it, just navigate and maneuver and go to what it is that you want to pay attention to, then you got it made. Is the sound still good, guys? Can someone answer me, please? Sound still good? Guys, I don't know how long I'll be here. There's so many questions here, so I don't know which one to go for. I just go by the numbers here. Um, Ashley says, male 34 London. A lady agreed to go out with me, uh, but I'm so nervous and have uncomfortable, doubtful thoughts that she won't come out with me. Are these negative thoughts? It's very normal. Every time we have a date, we may think, oh, what if she changes her mind? That's how the negative brain works. That's fine. Let it be. Whether she does or not, it has nothing to do with what you think. She may change her mind, says no at the last moment, or she may come. So instead of trying to find out the future and shorten the distance and travel to and project what is going to be happening when it's going to be happening, just relax, do your things, and when the day comes, if she's still, coming, great. If she doesn't, then you say, okay, fuck it, next. What can you do? But don't torture yourself from now. What if she doesn't? She may not come. Well, yeah, yeah, she may. So what? The world doesn't end. Sun still will shine, and the other girls are still beautiful, and possibilities are endless. So you move on. So if you find out now, if it doesn't show up now, fine. So that means one less to have to pass by. This one is already out. So next, you get closer to the one who actually is going to, have a meaningful relationship with you. But at the moment, you don't know. So don't conclude anything. Just be there. Just see what happens. Don't need to know what the future holds in order to feel, oh, everything's good. You don't need to know that. Yeah. Hang on, guys. Let me turn this light on. Maybe we'll have more light in here. A little bit better. Um, yeah, it's perfectly normal. We all feel nervous every time we want to go out with a girl that because we men don't need to know everything about her before we kind of feel excited about her. This is how we're built. We see a girl that meets our aesthetic expectations, we're already in it all the way. We like her. We can even think we love her. All because it's lust and love. It confuses us. We don't know the difference. Love is when you actually get to know each other and conscious bond on conscious level, and you find all the compatibilities and things. And through time, you understand each other's, commitment and unselfishness, and to be there for each other, and that allows you to fall in love. Lust is when you actually see, oh, she's in high heels and all dude up, and oh god, I can't, wait till I hold her hands. So, but the two is very difficult for many people until a certain age and certain awareness to learn. There's a very big difference. But as a general rule, we don't wait for the second part to get to know them. When we see them and we are aesthetically interested in her, we think we know them. We think they're not just beautiful, they're also smart, they're also compatible, they're also committed, they're also unselfish, they're also intelligent, they're also everything that is good about, that could be good about a woman, we give it to her just because we're physically turned on. We find her pleasing to the eye or meets your aesthetic expectations. So that's what it is. Then you become nervous because you don't think you have anything to offer, because you already see her as, oh, I see everything she has to offer. No, you don't. She actually could be a very beautiful girl, and as soon as you talk with her, you actually lose all interest because the intelligence or the compatibility and the consciousness level is just not there. The frequency is not there. You feel it. I don't know if I told you guys this story a long time ago. There was this girl that it was probably the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life, at least one of them. And, you know, I knew her through work and all that, but because she was married, I never made any approach, any romantic approach. Just talked about clients and business and stuff, and that's it. And 2 years later, one day she comes, and when I was, had some clients in her place of, work, She comes to me and she says, I got divorced. I'm divorced. So naturally I said, oh, I'm sorry about that. But inside I said, oh, whoopee. But I didn't make a fuss about it. So I said, oh. So anyhow, eventually one day I was, in a little playground with my son, and she had a little daughter, and she was there apparently. I was sitting somewhere having my own, reading my own book, and she came to me and she said, she said hello and all that. She said, I want to give you my phone number. Whoa, that was very good surprise. And so I welcomed it and I got her phone number and then I called her. So I called her and we talked a couple times on the phone and I asked her out and she said yes. So we planned to go for dinner and then go to a movie. That was our plan. So I picked her up and she was again the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. Hair, eyes, nose, teeth, hands, everything else, and everything, skin, everything, just a perfection, a model quality. So I was beside myself. How lucky can I be? Look at that. The girl that is most beautiful. Actually, I'm going out with her. So excitement was there. So I picked her up and we went to a very nice restaurant, beautiful view of the city, and we sat down and she ordered a glass of wine. The first word that came out of her mouth, I lost interest. 100% gone. The consciousness were not compatible. I couldn't feel the resonance at all. None. In our level of being, resonating on conscious level, interest or intellect or whatnot, it was like no echo coming back. And she didn't know what I was feeling, but I could see it. I had no interest. Doesn't matter how beautiful she was. That was the most beautiful girl that I had seen, so to speak, one of them in my life. But that was it. So what I'm trying to tell you is that it's not how you think when a woman is beautiful. You cannot give her all the other credentials that is only deserving to be given by time. They will get to know us. They will judge based on our consciousness. We will get to know them and we will judge based on their consciousness. We'll see how compatible we are. And that's how the way it should be before you say, oh, I'm in love or she's amazing. Why? Why? Just because she's beautiful? Well, yeah, that's great, but that's not who she is. You don't have a relationship with pretty. You don't have a relationship with her looks. That relationship is between the consciousness, and for that you need time to get to figure it out. So that very physically most beautiful girl no longer looked that way because the frequency and the compatibility in the conscious level just wasn't shining the way it should have to create that complete image of beauty and compatibility. Both sides should be there. Anyhow, to finish the story, we had our dinner, and as promised, we went to a movie. And she put her head on my shoulder in the movie, even, but I couldn't care less anymore. And I usually, when I take a girl home, at least there's a thank you, a kiss on the cheek. I didn't even feel like doing that. It was like I don't know, maybe I was stupid. Maybe I should have not, felt that way, and I should have just enjoyed the physical presence. But anyhow, that's how it is. So what I'm trying to tell you is that don't give all these echelons and credits to a beautiful woman, because there's a lot more to a woman than her beauty, her looks. And some women are not as aesthetically beautiful or perfect as some other ones, but they have that beautiful energy and manners and attitudes and mentality and consciousness that you fall in love regardless. And there are girls that are just amazingly beautiful and there's nothing there. It's the empty box. What can you do? You can't have a relationship with an empty box with a pretty look. There are things to be done, abilities and you know capabilities that you need to rely on in order to build something in life. For that, you need two actively conscious people. You can't just have a pretty person and then you feel that that's all there is. Like, if girls meet some guy who's very rich but he's very stupid, dumb, bad manners, bad behavior, and everything else, what good is that? Gotta get rid of it. Anyhow, so I hope that would be helpful to you. And just so simmer down and relax. And if she shows up, great. If she doesn't, well, she lost her chance. Next. That's all you think of it. Don't make it a big deal. And Beetlejuice says, hello, Mehran, male 18, Norway. Hello, Beetlejuice, Norway. Again, one of the countries I want to see someday. Beetlejuice says, I think I'm recovering because the things that used to trigger me don't anymore. And I can sit with them now without ruminating. That's my boy. Educate yourself and you'll not be a mystery. Right? Miami Soldier says, what to do if your girlfriend cheated on you and want to be with the other guy? You say, have a nice day. Wish you well. Adios, amigos. And you go and find another girl that you are more compatible with. That's all. There's no, it's not an end of it. There's no devastation. So what? It's on her. It's not on you. It's not supposed to define you when a girl wants to go with another guy or cheats on you. It doesn't define you. It defines her. Understand this. Capiche? All right. The guy next door says Mehran got himself a stalker, it seems like. Really? Who? Where is it? Where's the stalker? I'm unaware of it. Skokyoki says, hey, I'm subscribed. Right on. Peter Adrian Burkuta. That must be Adrian, right? That must be Rocky. Peter Adrian Burkuta says, hello, Mehran. This is Adrian. Yes. 42 male Romania, aka Rocky. Yes, I remember. How are you doing, my friend? Good things are always hard to find, like you, Mehran. My pleasure. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Thank you for the kind words. And I appreciate you being here. And amongst the sun goes, okay. Peter says, okay. Guys, remember, in here, I can only speak as general as I could in order to, about your question, but I won't be able to turn it into a one-on-one and constantly go back to your explanations and go back and forth as much as I would like to, but there's not going to be enough time and there's so many other questions available. So if you guys needed to talk to me further, please go ahead to my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com. and make an appointment for 1 hour for Skype consultation. And if it's a new client for 1 hour, then I will add another hour. We'll have 2 hours in that session and plenty of time to explore what's concerning you one on one on Skype. And the Lugani says, Mehran Durud, thank you for that. Says, how do I forget shameful, embarrassing thoughts about certain moments in my life in which other people mocked me? Why should you forget about it? That's all right. Remember it. It's no big deal. It has no teeth, it has no fang. It can't do anything to you just because you remember it. What's shameful? Shameful to who? To what? You think those people that you were embarrassed or mocked you, they don't actually have so many things wrong in their life? The fact that they mocked you makes them far weaker than you ever have ever been. You have ever been double ever? Yeah. So because people have confidence and strength don't get busy mocking other people for no reason. That's the weakness of a character, of a person who cannot actually make something out of themselves. And because they don't have that talent and ability, they try to elevate themselves while they cannot do it naturally. They try to elevate themselves by chiseling down somebody else. Because look, if there are two plants side by side and the same height, let's say, huh? One way is that they, if they want to be taller than the other one, is to keep focusing on growing and nutrition and exercise and all that. And the other one is one of them gets an axe and starts cutting the other one down. Then it looks taller and much bigger without having done any shit. This is how some people behave in this world. Some are focused on their abilities and their confidence level and their plans to build something out of themselves. So they're constantly trying to better themselves and make efforts to accomplish and build their lives. And they're busy with their own life. And they build a tower, and that tower could be, as tall as it goes. Some other people don't have that talent, don't have that know-how, don't know how to make anything out of themselves. They're stupid. They're incapable. So what do? They try to destroy all other buildings. So their building looks, see, I've got the tallest building. Not because you build it taller, you developed it, because you destroyed all the other ones. There are two ways to have the tallest building in town. One is to destroy all other buildings. So yours will look, see, only 5 floors, but it's taller than everything. The other one is to keep building yours, add to your life. And that is the one that one should follow. So the people who made fun of you, that means they had deficiency and lack of confidence, and they couldn't do anything about it. They didn't have the talent to develop themselves and better themselves. They could only try by knocking you down to look bigger. That's why you should remember. Instead, you're buying to their bullshit and you're still following their hidden intention and hidden reason was that it was their weakness, their shortcomings, their inferiority, not yours. Skokyoki says, thank you for answering my question. You're quite welcome. Skokyoki says, male 38 Germany. Okay, good. Guys, don't forget to promote the channel any way, which way you can, legally. we need exposure. YouTube doesn't give me exposure somehow. I guess, I don't know. This bloody algorithm is like full of shit and holes. I don't know what to do with it. Miami Soldier 26 USA Florida. Thank you for that. Guy next door, male 37 Norway. Oh, you're also Norway. Okay, great. And Libra named Val says, "Hi, Meran. Female, 35, Texas. Howdy, partner. Good to see you here. What is it today? We only have one or two ladies in our group. Have we lost the interest of the woman on our channel? I notice less and less. We used to have lots of them, right? What happened? Anyhow, delighted that you're here. AAB says, "Hello, Meran. Female, 32, London." Oh, I spoke too soon. There is a second one. Thank you. I feel like Austin Power, when he started laughing. Oh, you, oh, everybody laughing. Eventually, laugh died down. Ooh, and they didn't know what to do. All right, all right. um, hmm. By the way, past a long while, I've been having 10 to 12 kilometer walk every night. And I've started my gym workout as well. And it's good, feels good. You guys make sure you have some exercise on your daily basis, every day, something, at least, at least half an hour, 45 minutes, at least. It's very important, especially at your younger age. I was in sports all my life, so I'm seeing the benefit of it at this age. But even at this age, I can't not do something. I miss everything. There are lots of things I can't do anymore. I used to play good competitive tennis. Of course, show jumping was my thing, martial arts and all that. But you still got to find something that you can do at any age, even if it's not the same stuff that you used to do. So I do lots of, gym workout, um, lifting, and then walks, biking. I love swimming, but not here. And now the travel is like that. I haven't been able to go to my favorite place on earth, Hawaii. All these nonsense flights and all that, just nonsense. Getting everybody to. Not me. I ain't gonna do that. That's despite of what many biologists and researchers say. It's just you don't hear it on mainstream media. All you hear that governments blah 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 now giving you hamburgers to go and get it. How stupid is that? What's the agenda? Anyhow, all right. Looks like we have answered all the questions, guys. And so it's been 1 hour, 36 minutes. It's time for me to say, I love you all. Thank you very much for being here and giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I'm not sure if I will have another session tonight. If I will, I will. If I don't, I don't. I don't think so. So I guess unless there's a spontaneous one sometime during the week, and if that doesn't happen, then I look forward to talk to you guys again next week, Saturday, 1 p.m. Vancouver time. Wherever you are, take care of yourselves. Be good. Do some exercise and take pay good attention to yourself and do things that you like to do. Create a good, positive environment for yourself and live your life as happy as you can. And stop perceiving anything, interpreting anything. Observe and live. Long live and prosper. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.